Brave, the first Pixar film that has an official Disney princess in it, and this may come as a surprise, I absolutely loved it. The story takes place in Scotland around the 12th century. Merida, wonderfully voiced by Kelly Macdonald, is a teenage princess of the most important Scottish clan, but she's not very princessy. Instead of tight dresses and dancing in ballrooms, she prefers to shoot a bow, ride a horse, and hang out in the forests and mountains surrounding the castle. However, a day approaches when three other clans will be sending their representations, including potential suitors for Merida. Her mother wants her to finally grow into the princess role, and part of that growing up for her is choosing a future husband. Of course, Merida herself is having none of that and fights her mom at every turn. And that leads to a huge problem when she asks a witch for help and gets more than she bargained for. Now, I know what some people are going to say. Oh, it's the feminist propaganda again, Hollywood making women into strong, independent protagonists, yada, yada, yada. Thing is, though, that's kind of nonsense in this case. First off, after being on an animation kick for a while, going chronologically through the Disney and Pixar catalog, this was really the first movie featuring a truly independent girl as a protagonist. You could partly make a case for Rapunzel in Tangled, but she was still largely dependent on Flynn Rider. And it's just so damn refreshing. Of course, it helps that Merida is such a well-constructed character, but really, seeing her in action, I was thinking, this is brilliant. I want more of that. I want more of girls like that. But this is the crucial thing. She is well constructed. She's not artificially strong and capable at everything she does. She's not a Mary Sue character. She has her shortfalls as well. Because of her rash character, she says and does things that she shouldn't, and then she regrets, and she has to fix things. She gets physically overpowered multiple times in the story, and she does have to deal with the framing constraints of her being a princess and having to behave in a certain way sometimes, not doing whatever she wants all the time without those consequences. And also, even her most badass moments are fully earned and clearly established by showing very early on which skills she possesses, which positive traits she has, so it doesn't come out of nowhere. Merida also undergoes a major change in the film, and so does her mother, by the way, because that's the core of the film, if you think about it. The heart of it is not what if a girl was a badass, but rather what happens if a daughter and a mother cannot communicate and accept each other as they are. What happens if there are expectations on either side that cannot be fulfilled, and what happens if a child is forced to do things that they don't want to do, be someone that they're not, and how to overcome all those problems, how to find understanding and communication and empathy. And I'm saying child, by the way, because while the relationship in the film is very specifically between mom and daughter, I do think that the lessons shown here can actually be extended and applied to just generally a parent-child relationship without, regardless of the gender. Going back to the character of Merida for a second, I also wanted to say that apart from the writing, a large part of her charm is how she's executed. The acting, the voice acting is done fantastically well. Already mentioned Kelly Macdonald. And she's also animated equally brilliantly. Her curly red hair are just magnificent. I just had a constant smile on my face watching how they were animated, moving around with the character all the time. Masterful stuff. Then there's the rest of the film, the Scottish setting and music and outfits and locations and legends, the other subplots they tie into that main story of daughter and mother, the comic relief mainly in the form of the three young brothers of Merida. It all clicks. The elements fit one another and feel in place. And so Brave ends up being a really tight and well-made film that evokes a whole spectrum of emotions throughout. Fear, sadness, anger, laughter, and that sense of awe. I just loved it.